Welcome, podcast listeners. This is episode number 103 of the Fret Talk podcast. You are here with your host. It's Mr. BudgetPedalChap. Am I alone today? Can you hear anyone else out there? Nope. We are here with Mr. Matt Quine. Say hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Way, Matt is back. Back again.
Woo.
Let's make dick jokes. Something else. Those are the words, right?
Yeah, that's exactly the words of that song.
I don't even know what the song's called. It's something vaguely Eminem flavoured, isn't it? That?
Is it Stan, that one?
No, that's a tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why.
Oh yeah, that's no. In that case, I used to know this. I was big into Eminem when I was like 15. I can't remember.
I think we all were, mate. I think that's a rite of passage as a child growing up in the UK around 10 or so years ago. Yeah.
Like, he's the one rap artist I've ever been able to kind of listen to and enjoy.
Yeah. And he kind of segues into some others as well, doesn't he? Because he did the stuff with D12 and you're like, oh, maybe I can get on board with Dre and Snoop Dogg and yeah. Then I found guitar and it was like, yeah, this actually makes more sense. I'm far too white to be listening to those guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's rap talk for today. Tune in next week. Oh shit, man. So it's been a little while, hasn't it, Matt?
It has. It's been a couple of weeks.
It has. How have you been, man?
Good. Working hard, but, always doing that. But yeah, everything's good. Good this end anyway.
Fantastic. So you've been not only have you been busy in terms of work, but you've been a busy man in terms of like doing guitar-y stuff as well, haven't you?
I have. I like. You remember at the start of the year where I said like I don't need to buy anything else.
Yeah, I've stopped telling myself that lie.
Well, yeah, I've had some new purchases.
That's what we like to hear. Right, so what have we got to start off with? Let's kick it off with one of these new purchases, and we'll.
Right, we'll go for the least exciting one first, just to make sure that people keep listening for the more exciting ones.
Okay.
So the least exciting one is, for the first time in my life, I'm going to use an expression pedal. Okay, yeah. I thought you was going the other way with this, but yeah. So expression pedals are very utility, aren't they? They're a step up from buying a 4-way plug adapter that's surge protected. Yeah. But it's not much further. Yeah, well that's like I basically have never certainly never needed one and never particularly thought, this is something that I'm going to do. But the new band wants to put Lonely Boy in the set by Black Keys. And
I'm just going to smile and nod, so I'm going to pretend that I know what that means.
Okay, so the intro to that has an open low E that then gets dropped an octave on a whammy.
Okay.
And I don't have a whammy. But the Line 6 M5 on my board has a pitch. What do they call it? Pitch slide, I think they call it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's whammy mode. Like you can go 2 octaves down, 2 octaves up.
I mean, the Line 6 naming scheme is usually quite funny, and I'm surprised they didn't call it like the Wiggle or something.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. It's literally called it's either pitch shift or pitch slide. But yeah, and it's like really simple to do. So I bought the Electro Harmonics expression pedal because it was the cheapest one from a brand that I trusted. There were a lot of very cheap ones that you could find online, but I was like, yeah, let's not go with like some manufacturer in China I've never heard of.
Dongguan expression.
Yeah, and like the other ones, like I didn't particularly want one of the fold out ones, so I didn't go for Moog or Hotone either. Because they've got some like fold out ones, but again,
the Soul Press or something is it for Hot One? I think, or something like that.
It is, and yeah, the fold out nature just to me worries me a little bit. I think.
Well, it defeats the point of it, doesn't it? Because if you need to fold it out, you need that space for it to fold out anyway. So it's not really saving any space.
Yeah, and like my plan is not to put this on. It's not being mounted on the board. I'll explain why in a second. But so it's just going to stay separate from the board. Like I say, initially the plan was to only use it with one track, which is a Black Keys cover. I've since actually found that when you can use an expression pedal to change the wah sounds like a normal wah pedal in the Line 6 M5, there's some really good wah sounds in there.
Okay, yeah.
So rather than digging out my Crybaby wherever that is, I'll probably end up. In fact, I've already made a patch. So the M5, if you hit both the buttons, you get a bank of like 22 patches.
Yes, yeah,
set up. So patch 1 is going to be this whammy. Patch 2, I've got the Vox, their version of the Vox wah, which is called the Chrome wah.
Oh yeah, I remember this one from the because the Amplify footboard has got a very similar naming system, and it actually gives you the pictures as well. So so there's no getting around what that was.
Yeah, I've set up that as kind of like if I need a wah sound, and the good thing is you can like reduce the sweep so that your heel isn't that horrible kind of sound that you can't hear at all. So you can change the frequencies, which I've done with that setting as well, which is really easy to do. Like I was expecting to have to like program in stuff, and all you do is put the heel of the expression pedal to where you want it to be, and then adjust the knob, and then put the toe down, and then adjust the knob again, and then it just goes between those two settings.
Yeah, that's a pleasant sweep. I'll have that. Yeah. I mean, that's how wahs should be, really. I mean, there are some people who like wedge stuff under the heel of their Crybabies so that it doesn't have as far back a sweep. You're like, well, if it sounded good across the entire sweep, you wouldn't have to do that. You wouldn't have to be as careful with you.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I've picked that up. I've also now started setting patches up where I put it on a delay just so that I can make some weird and wonderful sounds.
I mean, if you're making
whether I use that
if you're making the effort for a whammy and a wah, it's only like another couple of button presses to make it for a stupid delay, isn't it?
Exactly, and like I'm actually finding that I'm far more excited about delay than I have been ever before, because I can just make those weird without having to bend down and twiddle knobs.
I mean, speaking of which, actually, between this cast and last cast, you've released a video on the Budget Pedal Chap channel about a delay as well, didn't you?
I did. I think I talked about it on the last cast, but it wasn't released by the time we were talking about it anyway.
Yeah, and you did some of that, and it sounded really good.
Yeah, and now I can do that, but without having to twiddle knobs.
Yeah, it's cool. It's so cool. Oh, the Dutch accent's back out.
Yeah, so that's kind of purchase number one. Is I've bought the expression pedal, and I'm now learning how to use an expression pedal, and like I say, making some weird sounds. I also had to get the loop station on my main pedal board. We discussed last time that I was doing Wish You Were Here, and I've put a video in the group chat where I need to loop the 12-string bit so that I can then change to a 6-string acoustic and play the intro solo, whilst having the 12-string bit in the background for Wish You Were Here. So the loop station needed to go on the board. So I'd ripped the entire pedal board, everything came off apart from the power supplies, and I started again from scratch. And it was also... The reason I took everything off was because Joe from Hello Sailor was whinging on Instagram that every time he saw my pedal board, it gave him like anxiety attacks because nothing was straight. So yeah, I started rewiring probably Wednesday of last week. And I've been using the pedal cables, Pedal Patch UK, is it?
Yeah, Pedal Patch, yeah. I think it's, pedalpatch.co.uk for those guys. There you go, there's a plug. You get that one free, Phil.
Yeah, and they're really easy to use, really easy to make. I have found that if you're not concentrating and using the wrong size screwdriver, you can thread one of the screws. But that was totally my fault and nothing to do with the product at all.
Yeah.
But I used a screwdriver that was the wrong size for the head and stripped one of the heads, so I had to order. I bought enough for 8 patch cables.
Yeah.
Realised that I've got like 17 pedals on my board and that's not enough.
Yeah.
So I had to do an extra order.
The maths
I had to order an extra. Yeah, I had to order an extra one on top of what I needed because I'd stripped the head of one because I'm an idiot.
Oh, I wonder how many times he's had that happen. Like ordering an odd number of the heads. Thinking,
yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I mean, he didn't question it. I mean, what he did do, and this is fantastic customer service, was I ordered another 11 of the things, and he's like, look, it's 30 quid for 11, or 33 quid for 11, or 30 quid for another set with 10 in it, plus another 3 meters of cable.
Yeah.
So he sent me another set with 3 meters of cable, plus the extra one.
Oh, what a ledge.
Without charging me any extra or saying anything. He sent me a message saying, look, you've paid for 11, that also would be the price for 11 with another 3 meters of cable, so here's another 3 meters of cable, and it means that when I come to rewire the board, I've got like maybe a foot left of the cable from the original pack and a whole new cable to go at it again. So like I say, fantastic customer service on his part. Yeah,
I mean, I've only ever ordered from him. I've not had to deal with the customer service side, but I've heard that he's an absolute gent, and I've had a chat with him as well. He seems like an absolute stand-up guy.
Yeah.
His whole mission is like, he just said, like, patch cables they were so fiddly in terms of like the setup for them, and there were so many ways that you could fuck them up, and they were really, really expensive. And it was just like, that shouldn't be the case. They are simple cables. So he went about designing these patch cables that were just really, really simple, and any old idiot could do it.
Yeah. And you're definitely right. Any idiot can do it because I've done it. I've put a whole. Like I said, I'm that much of an idiot that I threaded one of the screws because I used the wrong type of screwdriver. But like absolutely really simple. Like I was worried the wire is very thin compared to a normal guitar cable.
Yeah.
The cable is very thin, but it just makes it that much easier to work with. It makes it easier to bend around corners. And the great thing, thing that always frustrated me about pedal patch cables is they always have it with the right angles facing in the same direction.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, I want them facing in opposite directions.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah. Because they're not level, are they? They're at different
they're
manufacturers.
Totally different angles.
Yeah.
And you can do that with these. Like you put it in and you bend 90 degrees, and if you want to bend 90 degrees right, you bend 90 degrees right. If you want to bend 90 degrees left, you bend 90 degrees. Like, it's something that I've never thought about before, about how annoying it is with patch cables.
Yeah, because doing it, actually, you're twisting the cable, and that's where breakages happen, isn't it?
And that's why people get problems. Like, I was worried that, solderless was going to mean that they're going to be prone to dropping out.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that this was my first time ever cutting cables to length and putting a pedal board together, and I've done it with 0 failures. Straight away, first time. You push the end in, you can feel once it's kind of sitting in the right thing, you then bend it to 90 degrees and screw in, or you can just keep it at that level, and you can have it, instead of being at a right angle, you can have it just straight in and out like you would if you needed for a loop switcher.
Yeah.
Really simple to use. They feel good quality. Like I say, they're working first time, and they're so low profile. I've got pancake jacks from one of the big manufacturers. I can't remember who. Van Dam Cables it is. In fact, I've got Van Dam pancakes that take up more space than these. They're just absolutely incredible. And it's actually allowed me to get an extra pedal on my board. And I decided, well, if there's space for a pedal, I'll buy a pedal. And
when in Rome, eh?
Yeah. So I was thinking about it, I was like, what do I need? And then after we had a band practice last week with a new band, and afterwards we said, right, let's just sit down and write a dream set list. So everybody chip in songs. If anybody doesn't like a song for whatever reason, it gets struck off the list, and we'll write down, and we'll get 30 songs on a list. And there's some songs on that list that don't particularly need guitars, that don't really have guitars on them.
Yeah.
But what they do have is maybe a saxophone or a trumpet or some form of brass, or it's got like choral stuff in the background and stuff like that. And since Electro Harmonix released the Mel 9, I've always wanted one.
Yeah, you've wanted the excuse.
Yeah, and this gave me an excuse to buy one.
Yeah. You're like, hang on, lads. Hang on, I've got a solution for this.
And it's come at exactly the right time, because I did a load of trial hours for the job that I did, plus I worked a week for them in May. But because I only done a week in May, I didn't get paid for it in May. So my June salary had an extra week's salary plus 46 hours of trial, which was basically a bonus. And
that sounds like a Mel 9 sized chunk of change, that doesn't it?
It was a Mel 9 sized chunk of change that the Mel 9 arrived today, and I've been messing about with it. And I'm not sure if you've seen the video that I uploaded to the Fret Talk podcast group about 10 minutes before the call started.
No, I did not know. I was busy writing a podcast, unfortunately.
So I put the Mel 9 in flute mode, and then did a short video saying, if you want to know how to make this sound with a guitar, listen to the podcast on Monday.
Oh, I'll check it out.
So I put it in flute mode, and I did the intro for Stairway.
Oh, cool.
So you've got all that kind of like...
Yeah, because that was a Mellotron, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's the flute mode from a Mellotron on the record, so I just did that, but played it with a guitar.
Nice. I'm going to check that out, yeah. I'm not going to spoil your surprise as well.
But yeah, so I've been dicking around with that for the last, 4 hours.
Yeah, I mean, I was exactly the same as you, where I was really interested in, but not only the Mel 9, but the B and C.
B and the C9s.
Yeah, and there was a synth 9 as well, weren't there, as well?
Key 9?
Was it a Key 9? Yeah, there you go. That one I weren't so much interested in. It was more like the organ sounds that really got me. And I thought, and the Mellotron actually, but I thought one day I'll get one. I'll find an excuse and I'll get one. Yeah. The excuse hasn't. For you, the dreams come true, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, basically, there's some really old stuff. So, we're doing a Fats Domino track.
Oh, cool. Is it Blueberry Hill by any chance?
It is Blueberry Hill. Nice. And obviously, there's a load of trumpet in the background of that, and there's no guitar. Yeah. So I'll stick that. It'll either be in it's got a brass mode and a saxophone mode and a clarinet mode, and then I'll find whatever kind of works the best.
Which one sounds
just
better.
Kind of sit back in the mix and kind of put stuff over the top of the key. The keyboard will play the keyboardist will play the piano parts, and I'll play those parts. We're doing Jerry Lee Lewis, Great Balls of Fire, which again, live versions have saxophones and trumpets and trombones and brass sections.
Yeah.
There's not particularly any guitar. I could throw a blues 12-bar rhythm over the top, but it's
you'd probably
needed.
just be
the piano's kind of doing that already.
Yeah, you'd be doing accents and as good as that is, if you've got the ability to be able to do a horn section, that's probably taking precedent over ch. Yeah. So I completely get it. Completely get it.
Yeah, and there's a few other songs where like there's very little or no guitar that like I can either throw like. And the best thing is, like, for the end of Mr. Blue Sky, you can blend in your clean and a dry signal and the affected signal, so I can put a choral, because the keyboard guy will have to do the string section, and I can put the... Yeah, I can put like a choral kind of sing, like that. You've got that whole chorus thing in the background, so I can do that whilst he does the kind of the orchestral sounds, or we'll do it the other way, and I can do the orchestral sounds, and he can do the choral sounds. We'll find a way, but it just kind of everything that I was thinking about. I was like, and I can have that on, and I can do this. I was just like, I'm going to get one, and. Like there are some crap sounds in it. Don't get me wrong; it's not the easiest thing in the world to dial in. You can get some very terrible sounds. Yeah, but if you take your time with it, and you have to adapt your playing, like you can't just play like a guitarist because you will just get.
Yeah, it just sounds like a guitar with a crap synth over the top.
Yeah.
And they say that in the videos, don't they? They. Like in all of the videos for these things, they show like the demo guy, who's absolutely fantastic, how he's doing like weird inversion chords and stuff to make it sound more authentic.
Yeah, and that's it. And for a lot of stuff, you need to be quite staccato. You can't just kind of like ring out. And if you want those kind of like very kind of flashy like. Very quick stuff. You need to be very staccato. You can't just play like a guitarist where you keep your left hand on and just strum. You've got to make sure you're deadening notes in between and doing that kind of stuff. But there's some great sounds you can get out of it.
What I'm getting from this conversation is that the Mel 9 is doing something which the whole premise of this podcast is about, and the whole premise of kind of guitar culture is about, where we get obsessed over like bits of gear, and we often lose sight about why. And it's the way that you're talking about that Mel 9 about like being excited to try the stuff and making you want to pick up your guitar and practice and discover some new stuff. That is exactly what all of this shit that we talk about is about. It is completely that, isn't it?
It is. That's exactly it. It was just kind of like I've always wanted to try one. I've now got a reason to try one, and I spent like I say, it arrived at 4:00 this afternoon, and it's probably been plugged in since about 4:15. And then they had I'd spent a good 4 hours on it. Then realised I needed to have some food before the podcast started. Had a little bit of food, but like I say, there's so many different sounds in there. It's infinitely tweakable. Like I say, you can run the guitar sound through as well as like a dry through as well as your affected output. So it's just a cool kind of idea that, and I think it's going to be useful in the band situation. It'll be interesting to see how it plays through a loud valve amp. I've been playing it quietly through a 10-inch, 10-watt solid-state practice amp.
Yeah, and
I haven't been getting... Yeah.
If it's sounding good through that, I mean, chances are it'll probably sound good through... But I know what you mean. The loud valve amps tend to have a certain voice, don't they?
Yeah, and it may be that I send the affected out to a PA rather than to the board. Yeah. But... that's for me to kind of look at later. For now, as far as I'm aware, it's sounding good. I'll try it. I've got a band practice tomorrow night, where I'll try it through the Hayden, because the Hayden is living at the space where we can practice at the moment. So I'll try it through that, and then eventually, once we get gigging, just coming around faster than I thought. Like all our plans had been November. We'll aim for November. And then got offered a gig in September that we've accepted.
I mean, September's almost November. But yeah.
Apart from the fact that like it's the second weekend in September, which means we've basically got 9 weeks.
Okay, yeah. But
and we've I suppose we've got like 10 tracks already, so
yeah, you'll be alright.
And like we all said, look, if we put the effort in, it's doable. Yeah. Therefore, if we have this, it'll motivate us to put the effort in.
Yeah, having a goal.
Mean that I have to stop messing around with the Mellotron, making sounds for stuff.
Yeah, weird space sounds.
Instead of playing Stairway to Heaven, which is not in the set list, I should probably try and find the sounds that I actually need.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's awesome that I can just kick this pedal in and play the intro to Stairway and have the organ playing, the Mellotron playing in the background as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's inspiring, isn't it? It's inspiring.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a pretty hefty bit of stuff you've been doing. But you reminded me of something that we haven't done in a while.
Oh crap! I've just seen the date as well.
yeah. I think you've figured it out. So
yeah,
I still haven't done the AC/DC one. I've learnt it. I just haven't recorded it. The whiskey in the jar. I've done, and I learnt it note for note, but I've forgot it since. So I'll need to relearn it because I learnt it in an afternoon, and I already know it. Well, I already knew most of it, but I'd learnt certain bits differently. So I have to go back to the original video that I played it from and relearn those bits again. But it shouldn't take too long. I should be able to do them when I get a spare moment. However, we are new month, new song. So
I all I need to do is sit down and record Whiskey in the Jar because I've played it at band practice twice now.
Oh, fair play. So you've got it down.
Yeah, and not quite note for note, but as near as damn it.
Yeah,
like as near as makes no difference.
Yeah. I mean, it's Eric Bell, and he's often overlooked as a guitarist because, I mean, Thin Lizzy had some pretty monstrous players. Gary Moore being one of them. I mean, and when you're standing in the same area as Gary Moore, then like it's easy to be overshadowed. But there was a concert that Gary Moore put on called Gary Moore and Friends, where he played a tribute to Phil Lynott.
Yeah.
And when he got the other guys up, so he got up Brian and he got up Scott, he would play rings around them. He was almost like he was asserting his dominance. It was like he was pissing on them. And he was just like pulling out all of the stops. When Eric Bell came out to play Whiskey, and he actually sang it as well. I think they shared actually. When Eric Bell came out, Gary Moore like pulled it back, and it just showed that like even Gary had some respect for the chap.
Yeah.
Like whenever you see Gary play with BB as well, he does exactly the same. And it's not like, okay, here's me playing a billion miles a second. Here's what the song needs.
Yeah.
And it's that mark of respect.
And I think Bell deserves it. Like the Whiskey in the Jar solo is pretty much perfect for the song. Like it's not overpowering everything. It's not full of holes that could have been filled with extra. It's just the right amount of everything, isn't it? Yeah,
I mean it's chocked full of little bits of technique where it's like, okay, yeah, I can see where you've got that. I wouldn't have thought of that. But it's just it's almost like a little lick bag, but it's not to a point where it's like when you listen to Malmsteen and he's just throwing everything at it. There's restraint there, and there's musicality as well, and Eric Bell's playing, there's a lot of that.
Yeah.
So we've tiptoed around the subject. We still need to choose a song, don't we?
We do, and I've just briefly had a look through the list of songs that I've got to learn for the band.
Go on.
And in terms of stuff with like massive solos that are iconic, there's not really anything.
Okay.
With the exception of one song, which I like, is going to take me far more than a month to learn.
Okay, and just out of interest, what is that song? Because I can edit the crap out of this where this doesn't even happen. So
that one song is the album version of "Bat Out of Hell."
It's a song that I don't know too well. I obviously I know the song, but I don't know that I could sing the.
So the album version is 9.5 minutes, and there's no repeats, and it's mostly lead work.
Okay.
So it's not really. It's not like, let's learn a 45-second solo from Whiskey in the Jar. It's 9 minutes of lead work where, like, at the moment, all I'm doing is listening to the track because.
Yeah, you need to get that in your head.
Yeah, until I've got all of the melodies in the right order in my head, I will I could learn the different phrases, and when it comes to playing them, I'll be like, I don't know what comes next.
Yeah. So what do we do? What song do we do? Because we've done a lot of Thin Lizzy, and I could easily rattle off another like 5 or 6 Thin Lizzy tracks that I want to learn. In fact, let's do that. I'll give you a choice of maybe 2, okay, and you choose. Okay, so I think first one is another Eric Bell song called Philomena. It's kind of like Irish folk inspired, and I don't think there's many tabs out there, so I think it'll be a case of like learn that shit by ear.
Okay.
Or, and I think this one's not necessarily like solo work too much. It's just the riffs are a pain in the arse. Suicide, which it like modulates through 3 different keys, and there's a lot of 16th note kind of runs. It might be 8th note actually. So yeah, it's up to you, man.
Right. Okay. Let's go for Suicide.
Okay. I mean, it might be that might be an apt an apt one to go for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not?
So we go for Suicide.
Loads of like 8th or 16th note runs, then it'll improve my technique anyway. So
there you go. It'll improve mine as well, because you can't get around it without picking it. It has to be picked. I suppose you can do, but it sounds like it's picked because it's all very precise and so yeah. I'll learn it properly and I'll do it. I think because I don't think there's a solo in it, but the middle section is the bit that we're probably going to focus on, where it does do the
runs
running through the riff in a couple of different keys. So yeah, we'll do that. That's all good. So there you go, listeners. Another one which I'll fail to record. Suicide by Thin Lizzy, and again, Live and Dangerous version because it's faster and better. No, I don't think there's much difference between the album version and the live version. Whereas with Thin Lizzy, sometimes there's a world of difference between the two.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. I did some stuff this week, so I think our Joe of Everything Joseph, he's got to win this week because he does his little game where he sees if he can get to work before we get to any news. You've won, mate. Just it's already happened.
You'll be on the way. You'll probably be at home on the way home before we get to them.
That's it. You'll have a good maybe 2 or 3 journeys out of this, mate. So buckle in. So what have I been up to? Let's see what I've done. Very briefly, a couple of weeks ago when we did the cast together, I mentioned I was learning some horrible songs. Mr. Blue Sky, which we mentioned earlier, was one of them. Which I had an absolutely great keyboard player who took the strain on that one. So I didn't have to learn much fancy stuff.
I was just, did you do mostly power chords?
No, I mean it was full chords, but it was. I mean the outro was very much him.
Were you just doing the C sharp?
Yeah. I was very much leaning on that. I was doing like the slashes as well, so like the D flat with an E flat, D flat, E flat, A flat. Yeah, but he was doing a lot of the fanciness. But yeah, so I played the gig. It was a weird little outdoor thing. It was nice and cool. It was on a lovely day. It looked as if it was going to piss it down, but it didn't. But it was like a warm day, so it was like nice outdoor kind of vibey thing. Took the Black Star HT5 because I was told that it weren't a particularly massive thing and that everything was going to go through the PA anyway. So it's like, yeah, cool. We did have some sound issues because the PA that they provided was like
suboptimal.
I think like optimal if you're doing like public address rather than any actual like music going through it. It could have handled a backing track. It couldn't handle what was something like 6 musicians and a choir. So yeah, I mean that was an issue. But yeah, so the HT5 came out. And I've been falling in love with it a little bit more recently because I've been using it like here and there, and I use it on a couple of the demos that I've done recently, and it's sounding good. But I really got to crank the bollocks off it, and it sounds so good, so good. So the way that I had it set wasn't like everything at 12. It was like the gain was probably like maybe on the 2 or 3 mark, and then the volume was where I was cranking it, and with that it was beautiful and open sounding and really dynamic, and you dug in and got real grit, and if you played lightly you got that kind of breaking up kind of small combo breaking up tone, and it just sounded great. It sounded like it blew me away how good this thing sounded. So yeah, lots of love for the HT5, and this is the HT5 without the reverb as well. So that's something special.
I mean, like, to be fair, most people don't use their amp reverb when they've got it anyway, do they?
Yeah, it's exactly that. And with this gig as well, I didn't bring any pedals. I just went straight to amp, it's a brave step for me because I mean that's not even using a tuner, which that's brave. But I took number 1 telly, so I know that shit was on lockdown.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a considering the sound issues, it was a good gig. And yeah, the HT5 absolutely held its own. I loved it so much. The gig happened to be not too far away from where Fletch lives, and because the rehearsals were up that end as well, on the way to one of the rehearsals just before the gig, I gave Fletch a call and went, I remember you saying that you've fitted my my flying V out. Any chance I could come pick that up? And he was like, yes, there is. So I went to see Fletch last week and picked up my flying V, which now has what are coined super blends, which is amazing. And he also handed me a weird old 70s Les Paul copy, a Japanese Les Paul copy. It's all right, I'm not going to shop it into Gibson. And it had some strange Fletch concoctions in. They looked like gold foils, but do not sound like gold foils because they actually sound decent. So let's talk about the super blends to start off with. What's different about them? Fletch did describe to me that there was a difference between them, and I think it was the wire gauge, going from like, whereas the usual blends are like the 0.42 gauge and it goes 0.42 to 0.43 or something like this. He said like these ones were 0.43 to 0.44 or something. It means very little to me. Essentially, in guitarist terms, they've got a push pot for each of the volumes, and what it does is it gives you more. So you've got your regular mode, your regular blend mode, which is slightly hotter than a regular blend, but it's kind of that territory. Kind of classic PAF, a little bit hotter because it's a V, and V's are silly, and you've got to be silly with the V.
You've got to be silly with your V.
I just heard what I said then. I just heard it as I was saying it. I heard it myself. But yeah, you're playing with your V, and you're rocking out. You're getting in the groove, and that Spinal Tap moment where everything's at 10. But where
it's not quite enough.
Yeah. You need that push over the cliff, but where do you go? 11. 11 is where you go. And these pickups have an inbuilt 11. So you hit down on that button, and then it gives you that push over the cliff. It gives you a Marshall at 11. So yeah, they're exciting. They will definitely be making an appearance on my channel when I get a chance. It's when I get a chance to do them justice, because this is not going to be a case where I'm just going to like throw up a phone mic and just have me noodling. I'm going to do these ones with like proper microphone technique and all this jazz. Maybe cranking the bollocks off the HT5 again, and see if I can really annoy the neighbours.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee I will. So yeah, I've played those super blends, and I will be putting some, even if I can't get some quality footage out soon, I'll do some Instagrammy stuff. The gold foils I only got chance to play during a rehearsal, and I got like 10 minutes to play them. But they like I say, they look like gold foils, but they're not really gold foils. They've got a switching on them as well, which Fletch described them to me as like when the switch is in, they'll almost sound kind of Telecaster-y and really single coily. It's like interesting, and then you plunk it on and it sounds humbuckery. I don't think I played with the switch, but the pickup sounded clear, bright, but without being brittle, and just pretty good. Like, I was happy with them, so I can't wait to explore those a little bit more. He also handed me a couple of pedals that he got in a trade, and says, "Do what you will with these." One of which is a pedal where I think there are only like 3 in existence. So
Okay.
it's a Tate effects pedal. It's a really early Tate effects pedal, and it's called the Power Amp Distortion. So it's based loosely off the Acapulco Gold, but it's with a couple of his tweaks, and it's a one knob fuzz. So I think like this is where he kind of got inspiration for going to the Raise the Dead. Although the Raise the Dead's not the same circuit at all, but it seems like a more refined sound. The Raise the Dead does. This is just raw, gnarly gurness.
Raw, gnarly gurness.
Yeah. So out of these two pedals, and I'm not going to name and shame the other pedal, but I plugged the other pedal in, played it a little bit. It was like, yeah, cool. You can get a sound out of it. Tweak about with it a bit more. Yeah, it's pretty much the sound that you get there. This is where it sounds good, and everything else is wanting to go back to that original sound that you get. Because the Tate one is just one knob, and it's literally just like make it louder. You can't fuck the sound up. You've got what you've got. But I found like I played that other pedal for 10 minutes trying to look for sounds in it. I played the Tate Effects one until I had to stop. Until I knew that I had no more time because I had to go and be a responsible adult. So that's a testament to that. And I found like a really cool little trick feature, whatever you'd deem it. My good old buddy, the Mojo, running into the front end of the Power Amp Distortion is an absolutely divine sound. I mean, what kind of idiot would think this is a broken ass fuzzy sound? Let's hit it with more gain. But that's this guy, and I'm glad that I did because it sounded amazing. And we are running close to the end of the podcast. I think I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll do our Room 101. And if we've got a little bit of time, we'll do a bit of news. So Room 101 is a feature that we did on episode 101, and I thought it was pretty fun. So I've got a couple of things I want to chuck into it. I'm going to start off with the first one, which is clip-on tuners. So hear me out here. Like up until like a couple of weeks ago, where I lost it, I had a Polytune clip, which was amazing and worked incredibly and was brilliant. I can't find it anymore. I remembered that I had some cheaper Chinese clip-on tuners in a bag somewhere, which had to take the place of like tuning on the fly, and they just don't quite work. I mean, they work well enough for me to not give up on them and throw them away, but they just don't quite work good enough. And it's that kind of where they're on the precipice of, if they didn't work a little bit less, I'd throw them. But if they worked a little bit more, they'd be really useful. So they're like toeing the line.
Yeah.
So they're just useful enough that I don't want to throw them away. But I begrudge every moment I'm using them.
Yeah, I totally know the feeling. I absolutely hate clip-on tuners. I'm actually the other way from you. I just get every single one of them in the fucking sack. They're just like, they're okay if you're in a silent room and you want to get roughly in tune.
Yeah.
I mean, when am I ever in a silent room that I want to be roughly in tune? Like, all right, yes, at home.
Like for
do you know what I use when I'm at home?
Yeah,
for home practice, I have the Boss tuning app on my phone, and it's as accurate as a clip-on tuner.
Yeah, there is that, yeah.
So that's what I use for that situation. And as for trying to use one live, as soon as your bassist is plugged in, you ain't tuning a guitar with one of those.
No.
It's not happening. So you might as well give up and just get a pedal tuner.
Yeah, that's it. You need a grown-up tuner is what you need. So, like, the caveat with this one is that I don't want to throw the Polytune clip because I think that is a fantastic piece of kit. And it defies the logic of all the other clip-on tuners that I've ever tried. But I think I would be willing to throw it in Room 101 if I got to throw all of the rest of them in there. So I think I am. I think I'm going to throw them in. Sorry, Polytune.
Yeah, do that. And like I say, if you want something to replace the Polytune, just get it's a free Boss TU3 app.
Indeed, and you can get the skin for the Wazacraft version, which doesn't tune any differently, but it makes you think it's better.
There you go.
That buffered...
buffered picture on your phone.
That's it, yeah.
I might just do that. I might get the other skin.
It's literally just a couple of settings. You just go through the settings and then like skin mode, and then it's good. It really is. Go on, Matt. Have you got a gripe that you want to get off your chest this week?
Just trying to think of things that I want to throw in the Room 101. I'm gonna go for the Fender Blues Junior.
Okay, yeah.
We shit on it all the time, and
we do.
I played another one last week.
Yeah.
And it was fucking awful. And the guy has had some work. So I mentioned, I don't know whether I mentioned on a cast or whether I mentioned to the guys in the group that I'd seen somebody play one that sounded brilliantly, and what he'd done is replaced everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I saw one in TT, and the guy he'd ripped the circuit board out, replaced everything on the circuit board. He'd replaced the speaker. He'd replaced it. Basically, he wanted to build his own amp and just use the casing of the Blues Junior to do it.
They're a lovely size. They're a fantastic size for a combo because they're compact and everything is it's space efficient.
Yeah. But yeah, I played another one last week because I was around a friend's house and he has a Blues Junior, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've just had it modded and they've done this and they've done that," and it sounds dreadful. Like it's just brittle and glassy and just and he's like, all he's got is Strats and Tellies as well, and he always plays on the bridge pickup, and like the bridge pickup of a Strat through the Blues Junior is possibly the worst sound in the world.
Yeah, I mean the bridge pickup of a Strat on its own it's a pretty difficult sound, isn't it? It works in certain situations. If you put some gain on it, it smoothens out a little bit, and you're getting kind of you can get some kind of classic rock territory. But on its own, unless you're playing something like some like proper like 50s rock and roll or some like surf music maybe, then it can get to fuck. Right.
Yeah, it can get really to fuck.
And if you pair that up with the Blues Junior, which in and of itself is a very, very bright amplifier,
yeah,
that does sound like tonal hell.
For me, and like he loves it, and he's like raving out, and I just can't fucking stand it.
Probably because after a certain while of that, you wipe out all of the top end of your hearing anyway, so you just can't hear out properly. Yeah, sounds brilliant. This does. Yeah,
he's hearing the rest of the frequencies.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah, it only hears from like the mid-range upwards. Yeah, sounds really thick and full. No, it doesn't. It sounds like ice picks going like directly into your ear balls, which is a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna do one more. Okay. this one is an aesthetic thing more than anything. And I'm kind of on the fence as well because sometimes it works, but white pick guard and plastics on a Strat. So white pick guard with the white plastics on a Strat.
Yeah.
And the reason why I think I detest it is because it reminds me of all of the cheap, shitty, like 90 quid Argos special guitars. All of them have that aesthetic, don't they? They have a like brilliant white pick guard. It's all very fresh and new. And it's just unfortunate it's rubbed off onto whenever I see a Fender with that. If I see a guitar that I know is a decent guitar and it's got these brilliant white finish, I think. You think
it looks like an Encore?
That looks shit. Or like literally the only thing that needs to be changed about it, you can keep the white guard, just like slightly aged pickup surrounds and pickup covers and knobs. Just that little change where they're slightly creamed. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'm with you. As soon as they lose the brilliant white sheen, they're great. Now, personally, I'd fuck the white scratch plate off completely and replace it with literally any other colour. I don't know what it is about white scratch plates. For me, white scratch plates can go in room 101. I've never ever been a fan, with the exception of red guitars.
Yeah.
Red guitar with a white scratch plate I can just about get on with. Everything else, it needs to be at least age white. Personally, I like black scratch plate on a Strat style. I like a black scratch plate with white, or slightly off-white pickup covers. I like that look.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Look. But I mean, you could literally do it with anything, like whatever the colour of the Strat. Say like be a black Strat. If you put black with the cream plastics, looks fantastic. Do it on a sunburst, black, aged plastics, looks fantastic. Do it, switch it up, take the black guard, taut guard, black Strat, taut guard, aged plastics, looks beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I can get on board with it. I personally would prefer the black, but I totally get the taut guard, and like you say, taut on sunburst, taut on a black guitar, especially on a Strat.
Yeah.
With the white pickups or the aged white pickups and knobs. Yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah, and like even with like Fiesta Reds and the slightly brighter red as well.
That candy apple red.
Yeah, they're like flake though, aren't they? The candy apple. Like either of those, metallic. Anodized gold guards look fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
There's just so many times that I look at like a white Strats usually with white guards and just go, there's a better option than that.
I don't want, like, for the amount of money it costs, which is, in reality, if you're making your own pick guards and you've got the templates and the stamps and the CAD system to make your own scratch plates, the difference between a white guard and anything else is probably 15 to 20 pence. And I guarantee I'd have bought more Strats than I have done had they not had white guards on them.
And that's what it comes down to, isn't it? I'll put this out there though. Yeomans has bought. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this because I don't think he's told his missus. But not so long back, a couple of months back, he bought a, I think it was a 50s Strat, like a made in Mexico 50s Strat with nitro lacquer. I can't remember what they called the series, but it's like the nitro lacquer 50s one, and I think that's got a single ply white guard on it, and that looks pretty classy. But I think the pickups are aged. The plastics on it are aged, and it's like proper amber tint neck as well. So, I mean, there are certain situations, but almost always, there is a better option than a white guard.
And almost is the operative word, because there's very occasionally.
Yeah, and I think for that slight occasion where it's the right choice, we can throw it in, because there's a lot of the time where it's not the right choice.
Yeah.
Right, we're at an hour, but I feel we owe our listenership some news. So we'll do the one that's more controversial out of the two. So news. Gibson. We mentioned this on the live cast, and we mentioned it in detail. So we're not gonna rehash a lot of what was mentioned there. However, the saga continues, and this feels very much like last year or the year before, where we were talking about the bankruptcy, and it seemed like every week there was a new thing. And they kept us in news for like a good 5 months or something. It feels like it's going to be that. But so Gibson have come out again with a new statement. So just as a kind of recap for those who aren't paying attention, Gibson released a video titled "Play Authentic," and that basically pissed everyone off because it was pointing at companies and TV execs, and it was pointing at people and going, "We're gonna get you." I mean, I watched the video and didn't really get that vibe, but that's almost what the public took from the video, and then the week. Within the week of that video being released and then unreleased, there was a lawsuit to Dean over the V and the Z and the headstock shape copyright. And there's been some further notes on that, haven't there? But we're going to be talking about what Gibson have released recently. So you've got a bit more info on this, haven't you, Matt?
Yeah. So just as kind of a thing, I'm not sure where the idea that the Dean lawsuit was issued after the video. The Dean lawsuit's been going on since 2017. As far as I've had a look at online, there hasn't been an update on it in a while. What happened was that video dropped, and then people started scanning the internet and looking for stuff, and then news outlets started writing articles saying Gibson are now going after Dean Guitars and their parent company Armadillo Trading or whatever it is. Gibson hadn't done anything after the video. That's all been done in the past. It just so happens that it kind of...
Yeah, it coincided in a very inappropriate time for them.
Yeah, like the video made people go and have a look and see what's happening, basically, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. There might have been some sort of, resolution or whatever, but I couldn't see anything new on this case at all.
So...
and then...
just to interject there a little bit, there was a ruling in the European court, apparently, and I can't tell you sources, and I can't tell you where this info's come from, but I read it on the internet, and I know that's like the journalistic equivalent of going, "My mate told me."
Yeah.
But there was a ruling that the copyright for the V shape and the Z shape has been thrown out of court in the European courts only.
Yeah, but that came out after all these news articles, because that was only the very end of last week. So I think that was after the last cast where you.
Yeah, it was after. Yeah, I think it was literally like a day after, wasn't it?
Yeah. That has happened. So in the European Union, which Britain's still technically kind of in, but
let's not get into that.
We'll close that box back up. So in Europe, at the moment, you can't trademark a V shape or a Z shape, the Explorer shape for people who don't know what a Z shape is. You can't trademark those body shapes. They've been around for so long, and there are other distinguishing features about the guitars. So the European courts have thrown it out and said, no, you cannot challenge anybody making these shapes because there are other distinguishing features about the guitar that people can pick up on.
Yeah.
So and then I think it was Monday of this week. So last Monday, as you're listening to this.
Yeah.
Gibson then released a statement on this kind of issue. They realised they've made a bit of a faux pas with that Play Authentic video. And I think the Play Authentic video wasn't in any way going after Dean or going after any of the big manufacturers. To me, the sound of what they were saying was I thought they were aiming for the Chinese Gibsons, the actual illegal guitars that have got Gibson written on them but aren't Gibsons. That's what it felt like to me. Yeah. And it felt like they're saying, look, this has gone on long enough. And the statement that they released kind of is along the same lines. They talk about the fact that they've been to court on over 4,500 cases in the last, I think it says 2018.
Yeah.
They went to court and successfully dealt with over 4,500 cases for counterfeit or knockoff guitars coming from overseas. These are guitars with Gibson written on them, the same shape headstock, saying that they are Gibsons when they're actually not. And I think that's what this Play Authentic was about. I think they were trying to encourage people to look at the provenance of a guitar, rather than just go, oh look, it says Gibson on it, I'll just buy it.
Yeah.
And as much as it's annoying for Gibson when somebody buys one because they don't get any money out of it, actually it ruins Gibson's brand, because if you pick up a shit guitar from China that's got Gibson on the headstock and you think it's a Gibson and you find it crap to play, you're going to complain about Gibson guitars. You're not going to complain about Chinese knockoffs, are you?
Yeah.
So I get where they're coming from. I think they were very heavy-handed with the way they did it, and they didn't think about it. The other things that they've said in the statement that they've kind of released, there's a whole, I think it's a 3-page A4 document, but the main basic points are, that's what they're going after, is the rogue overseas companies that are trying to basically saying that you're buying a Gibson when you're not. They also said that they're trying to... they've made several attempts to communicate with Dean directly to try and avoid a prolonged legal battle, and Gibson have genuine intentions of constructive resolution that could be beneficial to both sides.
Yeah.
Which I'm just taking a very small part of a massive... Like I say, it's a 3-page document. But that, to me, is them explaining that the Dean thing is something totally separate.
Yeah.
We're not attacking... The video was not a go at Dean guitars. The video was a go at the Chinese copies. With Dean, we want to work with them. It sounds to me like they're saying Dean are not, at the moment, trying to be cooperative. Whether that's just my... that is just my interpretation. Whether that's what's happening or not, I'm not sure. But it to me... sounds like the Dean thing is more, you're using our shapes. I think the modern headstock is the one that they're saying that Dean are using, isn't it? Which is not a headstock. I wouldn't know it if it was in front of me right now.
Yeah, think of the Dean headstock.
The point.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Oh, is that? I didn't realise Gibson had done.
Yeah. So it's
the inverted V.
It's very like essentially like a small flying V at the top of the guitar as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that was a thing. Like Gibson had ever done.
Gibson's the modern. It was like a '60s invention when it was very short-lived and wasn't incredibly popular. Same with the Corvus as well. I think was a similar shape, which not in terms of like how they looked, but a similar shape that was trialed and not fondly loved. But yeah, the modern it's a slightly softer shape, but it's very much in the same vein as the Dean headstock.
Yeah. Then I totally get it, because obviously previous lawsuits have said that the headstocks can be trademarked.
Yeah.
So if you want to telecast a shaped headstock, you contact Fender and you license it.
Yeah.
Which is why so many brands do have the Telecaster style headstock or the Strat style headstocks, because they've contacted Fender and they've got a license to be able to produce guitars. Now, as far as I'm aware, Gibson do not license their headstocks. I can't think of any non-Gibson guitars that have the Gibson
the open book or the mustache as Agnesi.
Yeah. I can't think of anything that's there, and I'm not aware of any cases where they have license. But it might be something that they're open to doing. It might be something that might be one of the resolutions they propose to Dean.
Possibly.
We don't know.
Possibly.
We're in the dark about that case, because obviously I would suggest that it's probably all they're trying to settle out of court at the moment.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
There'll be a court case if they can't settle out of court. If they settle out of court, we're never going to know what the conversation was.
Yeah.
It could have been all nicey positive stuff, and it just so happens that we've just picked up on the fact that they've tried to trademark stuff a bit late by the sounds of it. Yeah,
well, I mean, it comes down to journalism, doesn't it? And the head honchos of Dean and the guys at Gibson having a nice little polite chat won't get as many people to read your article as heated debates and lawsuits, will it?
Yeah, and that's it, and that's a big part of issues as much with society as it is with just guitar journalism. It's journalism in general, isn't it? You write the story that
people want to hear,
sells the most, not the actual truth, and that's why the world is in the state that it's in at the moment. Being in a society where information can be published instantaneously, and shared, then there's no regulation on news. Then is there? Yeah, and that's one of the problems. But like bringing it all back round to the statement that Gibson released. So to me, everything is more positive. I was when the video first dropped, I was like, I'll never buy a new Gibson ever. I won't even contemplate it now. I'll pick it second hand. I don't mind, because the money's not going to Gibson; it's going to the person who's bought it. But I think that was probably an overreaction on my behalf, and I think unlike most people, I went out and had a look, and like I say, the Dean stuff is 2 years old, so it's pre this management. And I don't think the Play Authentic was actually anything to do with that. I think they were aiming at the Chinese stuff, but the kind of final stuff that was at the end of the statement was
the statement from JC himself, was it?
Yeah, it's actually, I'm going to read the whole paragraph out, because it to me sounds a lot more positive than what everybody's interpreting.
Okay,
so it says the recent situation has led the team to reevaluate their approach going forward, with the intention of finding more constructive solutions to managing brand protection in the industry. Over the past few weeks, Gibson has made significant progress in reducing counterfeit attacks, and they have entered into creative collaboration agreements with key boutique guitar makers and other related industry parties, a clear indication of their intentions going forward.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's all positive. And they're not saying that there'll be any more of these legal battles. They're not saying that they're going after any people. They are looking to collaborate, and I don't think they're looking to collaborate in the way that... I don't know whether Mark Agnesi was drunk when he made the video or whether he was having a bad day, but he basically made it sound like, come to us and give us some money and we'll let you collaborate with us and we'll let you use our instruments in your TV show or in your film. Or,
I mean, that is your interpretation of it, okay?
It's
not a hard and fast rule of what...
Yeah, no, not at all. But I think what this is trying to say is, look, we want to be open and collaborative, and we don't mind people using our body shapes. Just talk to us before you do it.
Yeah.
And body shapes, I think, you're probably 60 years too late with that. Give up on body shapes and just go for, if you want to collaborate with us in any way, just let us know, and we'll try and do something with you. The music industry is going to be better for more collaboration, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, yes. I think a lot of people have been kind of been touting the word bully about quite a lot, and I don't think any industry with a market leader who is seen as a bully leads to anything good and any free creativity. Because when we get creativity that's not defined by rules, that's where we start seeing actually true creativity, isn't it? Rather than creativity within bounds.
Yeah.
And it ends up you end up getting more interesting shapes appear and more interesting concepts and more interesting takes on classic stuff as well. Yeah, I mean it's sounding positive, and in this situation, what I like to do, I like to use the Guitar Geek as a barometer for how to feel, essentially, about the situation. And when the first Play Authentic video came out, he almost kind of knee-jerk reaction released a video, which was essentially, and this is me paraphrasing, Gibson doing stupid things. This makes me sad. So I was like, yeah. I'll run with that. And now he's released a video after their redaction, and it's Gibson have apologised. This makes me less sad. So yeah, I'm gonna run with that. It's boiling it down to a very, very simple point, but yeah, I think I'm okay with that. And looking at the time that we're on, I think that's probably where we're gonna wrap it for today. And the phrase that I wanted to get into today's episode that I haven't snuck in anywhere was a kick in the dick. And I don't think we got it there. I don't think it can be the episode title today. I don't know. Maybe it can.
No, I don't think it can, which is a bit of a shame. But and to be
it's a real kick in the dick, that is, isn't it?
It is a real kick in the dick. But last week's one could have been a kick in the dick because, Gibson have been very slow for this statement to come out. That's I think my biggest criticism is they released the Play Authentic video. They pulled it because they realised that it was not in good taste.
In bad taste, yeah.
And then they buried their head in the sand, is what it felt like.
Yeah, it took them a long time for this response, didn't it? But it's a carefully crafted response, isn't it? It's one which every word in that response has been thought about as not to exacerbate the anger and pour any more fuel onto the flames. I think it was a clever move.
Yeah.
So, if you want to catch us online, we are frequent frequenters of the Fret Talk podcast group. As Matt said, he released a video in there today. We often post stupid stuff in there, as well as kind of some stuff that links to the podcast. So like getting your topics on there, and some kind of post podcast chat as well. So if we've put a topic in here which we want to continue on, we'll throw it in the podcast group as well. And it's always good to kind of hear the listeners what you guys think of the direction of the podcast, because it is all for you. Yes, you, the one listening there in your car, bus, solitude of your own self is for you. But if you also want to catch me online, it's making Matt giggle. If you want to catch me online, it is Facebook. In fact, if you want to catch me or Matt sometimes online, it is facebook.com/BudgetPedalChap, Instagram.com/BudgetPedalChap, or this is where you'll find Matt sometimes with Budget Pedal Matt, which is definitely a thing. On youtube.com/BudgetPedalChap. There are 2 Budget Pedal Matt videos out, so go check them out because they are awesome. And feel free to check out some of my stuff as well. As soon as I can, there will be more stuff. I am working hard at the moment, doing some work with the guys over at Pedalboards of Doom. So, of course, go over there, youtube.com/Pedalboards of Doom, and make sure you subscribe and check that out as well, because you'll find me like doing some news stuff and some pedal demos as well. Matt, you are heel_Matt Q on everything pretty much. So we've got like Twitch, we've got Twitter, Instagram, all this good stuff. You are in many bands. You are also in the Bad Bookers podcast as the Matt Quine of that particular podcast as well.
Yeah, I mean, I say I'm in the Bad Bookers podcast. Unfortunately, work situations mean, like, my appearances have gone from, like, for the first 6 months of this year, I was on every episode, and I haven't been on one since, like, the second week in June. I do still write for the website. I do still do the predictions when the pay-per-views are up, and I will... When I'm not working on this Thursday night, I will be on the podcast. There'll be a couple of days in June where I'm on the podcast, but it's not one where we can shift record. Like, luckily, I've got you as a wonderful person who will shift recording nights depending on when I'm working.
Yeah.
With the way the wrestling world is, we're reacting to things that happen on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So we have to record the podcast on Thursday because otherwise it's out of date. Which just means that that's a fixed night, and if I'm working that night, I can't be on it.
Well, I mean that's sad news. However, I mean you're still involved with the website and all this. So absolutely, if you are a fan of the wrestling world, go check out the Bad Bookers podcast. And as we mentioned on the last, not the last live one, but the live one before that, I think it was the last one. We are definitely going to get you and Sean Pierce Johnson to have a wrestle. Not talk about wrestling. We're going to get you wrestling. You two wrestling.
Just have a match.
Yeah. There might be jelly. There might be mud. I don't know. I don't know how this wrestling works.
Oh, so we go back to 90s wrestling, aren't we?
That's it, yeah. So we're gonna do that. And I am still trying to figure out how we can get a collaboration with us and the Tone Jerks podcast, because that is definitely going to happen. You have my word here now that is definitely going to happen. It's just a case of synchronizing schedules.
I will let you set that up, because for me, like, I'm pretty sure all the times they're recording, I've just finished work, and it's probably like I could just go straight on it, whereas I don't feel like me on my own would be a Fret Talk collaboration. I think it has to have the Budget Pedal Chap in it, so I will just wait for you to kind of work out timings, and I'll just work around you. That's
got to be my my little summer project, that is, to get a collaboration where we perhaps record a podcast each, where we do like a Fret Talk featuring the Tone Jerk, so the Tone Jerk featuring the Fret Talk. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what time allows. But it's definitely gonna happen. Maybe sometime soon. Probably. Yeah, that is commitment there, listeners.
There you go.
That is
surely at some point in the summer holidays, like there'll be a day where you can do it, even if it means like getting up a little bit early and doing it US time.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a chat with them, and it seems ultimately plausible based on their schedule at the moment. So we'll talk more about that after the cast, because that is kind of organisation cast there, which isn't the most exciting for anyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for this week's podcast, it's been amazing. It's always good fun to talk to Matt. So thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
From myself, Mr. Budget Pedal Chap. From Mr. Matt Quine. Say bye, Matt.
Bye, Matt.
Whee! It will be a tatty bye and good night for this week. Ta-ra a bit. You can hear the music, don't you? Oh. Oh, I love podcasting. So fun. It's so fun.
Yep.
As if we talked almost an hour without actually getting through to any actual news. So, this one's for you, Joe.